Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is. Once again, I am Dre. That is Rashad. And welcome to episode 16 of
16. See,
What
what
Happened
happened
Was. Oh man,
Oh,
it is
man,
good to be
man.
back in the saddle again. I mean, as we
Yes, it
say
is.
all the time, man, life is life. And when you have the jobs that we have, the hours that we pull, man, it's just hard to do this stuff. But we are back to give you more of what you want, how it
That's right.
always is at all times. And today, this episode right here is going to be very informational, very educational. We are talking about credit today.
Yes,
And why does credit matter? Because credit matters.
it really does. It
That's
it
why it's
it
called
matters.
Credit Matters, because credit matters.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
Really.
we're going to jump right into this. Rashad, how's everything?
Oh, in the words of Michael Basin, everything is everything. Things things are really good. Things are really moving up. Of course, up for another position. Well, I would say another position. I'm being looked at, being groomed, and things like that. Can't wait to get it. There's a lot of responsibility that they threw on my table, threw on my plate, my lap, whatever you want to call it. But
Mhm.
I'm up for the challenge. You know what I'm saying? Up to doing it. Um, Talking about credit, it matters. Jumping into that, if you look at the episode that we just did last time, I said, hey, you know what? Let's put this to the test. So basically, what I did was I started wiping things out. You know what I mean? Stocks I had started doing real good. So my thing is like, let me take some of this, clear some credit cards, clear up this, clear up that. And man, I tell you, it just seemed like overnight, my credit just pow to the roof, to the point where I was able to go to the lot, tell them what I wanted, no money down, and drove off in a 24. It works. Credit matters. Trust me. It's not just fluff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We're gonna jump into that in a second, but
Yeah.
first, I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to our viewers. It
Thank
just
you.
so happens that I was just looking at our numbers the other day, and it turns out that we have people from Romania and the UK
Wow.
as fans, and
Romania and the UK
yeah,
are
yeah.
checking the show out. You gotta love it.
Yeah. And
Gotta
it's like
love it.
I've been saying, man, it's not about the likes for us. It's not about, how many fans that we have, and we're getting there because this thing is still new even after 16 episodes. We're still trying to, grow our fan base and whatnot, but it's about giving us this information to people, so they can be educated on
Yep.
things, so they can know from our experiences how to go about things or doing things in a different way. But in either case, as long as you're learning something, then we're doing our jobs. And for that, I appreciate it. We'll definitely appreciate you in the UK and Romania, and definitely here in the United States. So, to jump back in it real fast, what were the circumstances behind you buying this car? How were you able to drive off that lot that day in a brand new car?
So, like you was talking the last time, and you said you've done it a few times. You know what I mean? This is why you go to the lot because of your credit. You go to the lot, tell them what you want. You give them the rules. You tell them what you want to do, and this is what it is. Now, if you have no credit, you have no leverage. If your credit score is low, you don't get a bum deal. Okay. Or you may not get a deal at all. Now, so what I did is when I worked on it, got my credit to where it needed to be all in the 700s. It's at 730 across the board. You know what I'm saying? That's like being educated on your credit usage. Like they really want you using 10%. Like your credit card is not something you use to max out and do things like that.
Right.
10% of your balance, I believe, of what you have, 10% of that. And I did that. I got what? Paid off one, closed it, paid off another one, kept it open, paid off another one and kept like $20 on it. And boom, shot up. They're like, oh, you're doing great. You're doing excellent. So when I went there, told them what I was looking for, new Honda, this is what I need because the car basically that I was driving it's a 2000. It was just to the point where, overheating and all kind of stuff. So it's like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. Fast forward, get there. And I just woke up early one day. No, let me back up. I woke up early, jumped online, and I just kept having this feeling like I need to do this. I need to go ahead and put this information in there. So I did. Maybe like an hour later, get a call back. Asked me what I'm looking for, this, that, and the third. Told me to come down. I came down, talking to the dude. The manager comes over and was like, we pulled your credit. You can have anything you want in this lot. Honda dealership. You can have anything you want with credit like that. And I picked what I wanted. They said, how much you want to put down? I said, not a dime, but this is what I want. They said, Mr. Mervin, we're going to get the paperwork started. And that's just how it was. So credit matters. Everything that Dre was saying last episode, it matters.
Yeah.
So I've been like ear to ear since then, you know what I'm talking about? Because finally, get things moving. And when people just start bidding for your business, like, nah, we want them to the point where Honda's like, nah, we're going to take this. We're going to finance that. And that's just the way it was. Trust me, it works.
Yeah.
Basically, like people, I would say finance companies are bidding for your business. And you can take the best deal that works for you. And the one that worked for me was what Honda was giving me. Honda's like, nah, we want your business. We see you good. Your credit basically is your good name. And Dre will explain that. But they were just like, yo, we love what you have. We see there's other people bidding to give you this loan, but we want to have the opportunity to give you this loan. So you can have me out in an hour, 1 hour tops. I was out in 40 minutes. They got that paperwork done.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've never been out in 40 minutes before.
Yeah, they were. I mean, 10 minutes, so you can have a whole lot if you want. But 40 minutes, I was out.
That is awesome.
Watched it. It was only 3 miles on it. First owner. Never had that happen before. You know what I'm saying? So credit. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to rewind this all the way back. So I won't tell you exactly what credit is and where the name credit or the word credit comes from, because it definitely is important, because it's not just in material things, but it's a personal thing as well. So the definition of credit is the ability of a customer to obtain goods and services before payment based on the trust that the person will make the payment in the future. So the word credit is Latin. The Latin meaning of credit means good name. So you think it's all about goods and services and just being able to, have the money. Sometimes money is not enough. Sometimes people want to know, are you trustworthy? Are you trustworthy enough to be given our money and we can trust you to pay it back to us on time? See, and the thing about that is, like I said, it goes back to your name. If people can trust you as a person, if your name is good, your credit's going to be good with
Yep.
people as well, because they know, okay, he's a good person, not just a good person, but he's a responsible person. And I can give this person this money in the expectation that they're going to pay me back. So you've got different types of credit. You have, for the consumers, you have revolving credit, which is going to be your credit cards. And then you have your installment credit, which is going to be the loans. So, i.e., your mortgage, your car loan, student loans, anything that you have to pay back within a certain amount of time in equal payments. So, of course, with that, you have bureaus who monitor credit. And the big three, of course, you have Experian, you have Equifax, and you have TransUnion. Now, the credit bureaus do use different modeling tools to determine your credit score. So they've got Experian uses, FICO 8. Equifax uses FICO score 9, and then also Experian will use Vantage score 3.0. But there are many, like I said, out there. The highest score that you can have is 850, and only 23% of the scorable population has a score of 800 or better, and I'm one of them. So, and I have been for quite a long time. And that's important because if you have a credit score of 850, then that means, you're not only the top of the top, but you are eligible to receive the lowest APR, the lowest interest rates. See? So the lower your credit score is, the higher your interest rate is going to be. So that's why it's important to keep up on your credit scores.
Yep.
So the lowest score that you can have to be considered fair is 670. I said on the last episode that you should at least have a 720 to get you in the door to have the best interest rates. Depending on what you're trying to get, a mortgage, a car, and stuff like that, having a 670, yeah, that's cool. That's going to get you somewhere, but it's also going to get you a high rate. And
yeah,
the thing about it is when you're paying X amount in interest, you'll have to pay more just to keep up on those payments, basically. So when I talk about the interest, I talk about the money that basically you'll have to spend to pay for that loan. So the bank is going to give you, or credit union is going to give you X amount of money, but they're going to put that interest on there.
Mm-hmm.
So the interest is also, or how much money you're going to be paying on that principal, is the interest. The interest equals the principal, which is the money that you're borrowing, the rate at which you're borrowing, the percentage, and then the time it's going to take to pay you back, or it's going to take
Pay
for
him
you
back.
to pay the lender back.
Yeah.
So of course you're gonna do that in months. So if it's 2 years, 24 months, or whatever the case may be. So that's going to determine how much you're going to owe the bank on top of what you asked for. So it's imperative that you have a decent credit score so you can have a decent interest rate
Yep.
on whatever you're trying to do. And it's the same thing for credit cards as well. Some credit cards are charging up to 30% APR. So if you're not paying those, making those payments, or you're paying the bare minimum, best believe you're going to be paying an arm and a leg in interest.
Yeah.
So that stuff is very important. Now, breaking down the credit scores based on race, ethnicity, the average score, and this is as of 2023, FICO put this out. So the average score of somebody who's Black is 677. Hispanics is at 701. Yeah. Whites are at 734. And then other races are 732. So you know what that says?
Wow.
Yeah. If you are Black, you definitely have to make sure that your stuff is on the up and up if you plan on getting what you're needing. Car, house, whatever the case may be. It's not a joke. You can't be trying to call these people and you're asking for a loan and stuff like that. And you getting the money, you're paying bare minimum, or you're missing payments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to be calling you trying to get their money. But you can't, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. It goes back to what I was saying about the meaning of the word credit, which means good name. And this is why I don't lend money to people.
I mean, grand opening, grand closing. You can't get mad at that. There's people like you loan, which is why they say never loan enough that you can't afford to lose.
Exactly.
And I'm the same way. I don't loan money. People don't ask me, period, for nothing.
Yeah.
Now, I could possibly count. There's a few people that if they hit me up, yo, that's what I need. I got you because I know you're good for it.
Yep.
Others, I don't care what sad story you try to give me, or you try to,
right.
Well, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. I don't know what you're gonna do either.
Right. That's crazy.
I can't do nothing for you, man.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of those. Like, I mean, I know there's some people that still owe me $20. That's like, you better not fix your lips to ask me for anything else. You know what I mean? Some people say, that's $20. It's the principle.
Right.
And the same thing when it goes to credit. You don't pay these people back their money, it's gonna go on your credit, and you think it don't matter.
Right.
So that time when you do go to try to get something, they go, oh, well, you didn't pay, Joe and them back. So what makes you think we're gonna give you some cash?
Exactly. Exactly.
It matters big time. Big time.
Yep.
Especially those of you who have debt and you have your tax return, pay off that debt.
Right.
Forget the Jordans, forget all that stuff, forget the TV, pay your debt. I mean, come on, we know. As soon as they get a tax, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of stuff, and you're still sitting there in debt, swimming in it.
Right.
Best bet to get out of it, so you can do more, you can have more. That is wild.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, and I've seen so many people. I've heard the stories about people borrowing from these companies and they can't afford it, and so they have to go bankrupt. File chapter 11 or 7, whatever it is. depending on whether it's a personal thing or a company thing.
Yeah.
Um, Going into bankruptcy because you don't have the money to pay, instead of being smart, making smart choices and saying, okay, I'm going to borrow exactly what I need. And not only that, I am going to pay these people in the amount of time that I said.
Yep.
Now, for myself, I'm the type of person that if I owe, I'm going to not only pay back, but I'm going to pay back before time. I don't like debt. I've had to consolidate and stuff like that here and there, but you best believe when I say, all right, I need this amount of money, you're going to give me this time to pay back. Shoot, I'll probably make the first payment within days of asking for the loan, just because that's the kind of person that I am. You know, I'm I haven't always been responsible. Like in my 20s, I wasn't as
Oh
responsible,
yeah.
you know, as I am now. But it wasn't until, like I said, last episode, probably my late 20s, is when I started to, wake up. It wasn't until like I got out of the military and I had like $5,000 racked up on my star card. And I'm like,
Ooh.
man, yeah, computers and CDs and TVs and stuff like that. So I had to formulate a plan, and it wasn't the thing that I had to call them and negotiate on payments. I just started paying back because there was no way I was going to have these people calling me asking where their money is. That's just not how I roll.
And
Never been.
I was going to ask that question. Like, yeah, tell the people, what did you buy?
Yeah, yeah. I just wilded out. I wilded out, and I had, like I said, bought TVs, bought CDs.
And
I had, stuff that I really didn't need, just because the credit card was in hand, and I'm like, I get this stuff, I pay it back later, yada yada. But like I
because it
say,
definitely ain't free
bill,
money.
yeah, yeah. When them bills, pile up, and you definitely have to make sure that you got the means to pay back.
Yeah.
Um, it goes for people who are, putting trips on credit cards and stuff like that, talking about, well, you only live once, and then yeah, you living to pay bills when you get finished.
You live once and that debt lives on.
Exactly. Now that's a bar right there. That is a bar. And you best believe I ain't trying to
That's the
pay.
that's the rapper in me.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Yeah.
it lives on.
I ain't trying
When
to.
you're gone, your debt lives on,
That's
and it
right.
attacks everybody that's attached to your name.
That's right. That's right. And believe me, you ain't gonna have nobody calling me talking about, oh, we're trying to look for such and such. Hey, this is their number right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You call them. You
You
call
call
them.
him.
Don't call
Don't
me. I
call
ain't
me.
got nothing to do with it. And I've had to do that recently.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I don't I don't play, man. Don't get me involved in your stuff, because I'm telling.
Bring his about to.
Yeah. I am telling. Yeah, I ain't playing with you. Don't use
Boy.
me. Don't use me as no contact if you
Yeah,
know you
yeah.
can't pay people back. It ain't going down that way. And
They
I
start
don't
calling
co-sign
me.
either.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't no cosign.
Yeah,
Ain't none of that. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's just
yep.
nah.
And
You
as
know,
as as much as I love her, I won't even co-sign for my mama.
hey,
So we don't
facts.
do that here.
Nah, not gonna do it. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, I remember like when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying, and it was something I wanted. I think it was a cell phone. And yeah, mom was like, nope. I was like, dang, she wouldn't co-sign for nothing, you know. So I get it.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, if you can, the way I feel right now, if you can't do it by yourself, you can't do it at all.
Exactly.
Get mad if you want to. It's just a fact. Can't do it by yourself. Can't do it at all.
That's
yes,
right.
I was able to do it by myself with no help from no one.
Yep. And that
feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to be that way. You got to be able to protect your name. You have to be able to protect your assets.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And somebody who's irresponsible, talking about, oh, can you do this for me? Trying to get a car or co-sign for an apartment or whatever the case may be. And they're not really good for it. And even if they are, it's just to protect yourself.
Yep.
And people, they want to get mad or whatever, that's on them. But I'm not going to go down with you. I don't play that. And anybody who knows me knows I don't play that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's life.
Boy, grandma used to say that play ain't gonna give you nothing.
Squeeze $1 till it holler. Oh man. But,
it's just facts though. It's really, really facts. You have to protect your name. You have to protect your finance. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
You never know when you're gonna need it. I used to think I don't need credit because I got this, and that, until it came to that point was like, dang, I need it. I really need it. I can't get no car without it. I mean, yeah, they got some money, but nah, they want to see this.
Right.
And hey, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people who, I mean, they go through the like other companies or whatever, and they paying like $2,000-$3,000. I mean, maybe that's a little extreme, but they're paying like $900, $1000, $1,500 a month just for like a whip. Or they go to the other things that's like, yeah, we'll get you approved. get you approved tomorrow. You have whatever you want,
right?
And get messed up, just get messed over. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the proper credit.
Right.
So not going back down that road.
Yep. And so you can go to places, for people that don't have good credit, buy here, pay here, type places.
Yeah.
But if you are somebody who does have good credit, there's no reason, especially if you're above 750, 60, whatever, there's no reason why you can't go into a car dealership, for example, and say, hey, I want such and such. I'm not going to pay anything down. I'm going to walk. And of course they'll, oh, well, let me talk to the manager and see what we can do. Yeah, talk to your manager. That's all part of the shtick, man.
Talk to the manager.
Yeah. Tell me what's up. Talk to me, because with this credit that I have, there's no way in the world that I shouldn't be able to walk off or drive off the lot with something that I want and I can afford as well. That's the key word. Can you afford the payments?
Yes.
On said vehicle too. Okay. So
they will try to talk you up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's yeah. The first thing they told me, yeah, we got one of the top lines like about $50,000. Nah. Could I? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that. This is what I want. Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make it work. And like I said, don't waste my time. I won't waste your time. Make it work or I'm gone.
Right.
Oh, give me 40 minutes. Boom. Went, watched it, drove into the little bay, took my picture. Off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's
and some of them throw in like crazy packages. Like it's just like, hey, because of this, we gonna make the first. It was like we actually gonna make the first 9 payments for you.
Oh wow,
for doing good. oh, we're gonna give you Amazon gift cards so you can go get your little accessories and things like that. Like, all right, cool. They threw in $100,000 mile warranty. You know, man, like I'm kind of like, that's wild. They even threw in like free theft protection. You know what I'm saying? The crazy stuff. There's this, they call it butler detailing. So every 6 months, I could take it back. They're going to wash it, buff it, do all this crazy stuff to it, and to just make it look like brand new, all this kind of stuff. So they threw in a lot
Wow.
just to make me happy with it.
That
And I
is
said,
nice.
yeah, that's wild. I mean,
That's
they treat you like a king. You the king. You know what I'm saying over there?
yeah. That's what
Man,
I'm talking about. And it's another thing too, man. When you have good credit, watch how people treat you.
yep.
You go into places, you might start out, hey, oh, Dre, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. They check your credit. Oh, Mr. Mervin,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
what we can do. Mr. Mervin, this is what
yeah.
we can do for you. So
Yep.
yeah, we can blah, blah, blah. It matters. Like
It
we were
does.
saying, credit does matter. You know, People can say, oh, what can I get with a 600 credit score?
You can get the
You
hell
can get
out of
off
here.
this lot. You can get off this lot.
You
You
get,
my
you get off it,
plan.
man. That's a nice moment to see what happened was.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Can I get off this lot? You know, and it was crazy because even listening to some of the conversations that were going on, there were some people, they were like, well, your credit's this, and you got to put like 5,000 down, for us to even take it serious. I heard a lot of that going on. It was just like, dang, man, like that's a lot to put down, and you
Yeah,
don't really have it anyway. Then your interest is high, and your
yeah,
payments is high. You may as well just like stick with the hoopty.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because then they'll treat you as such. They'll treat you how your credit score is. Like,
right.
yes, it kind of, well, yeah, give me turkey sandwich. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. What were we talking about again? But with that credit, what you need? Oh, yeah, you want some water? Want some coffee? Want some chips? Want
Yeah,
some juice? Oh, let me go get it. Hold on, let me get that. Let me get that. I was just like, all I want is to get this deal done. Give me 40 minutes to get the paperwork done. They were just like, boom, 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 boom. They were like, yo, let's do this. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And call you. How you liking it? How you doing it? You want something different? Nah, I'm okay. I'm all right. Well, you have the option. You can bring it back and we get you in something. Da 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 da. I'm straight.
yep,
I'm good. You know, they want the business and they will treat you as such. You
right.
know, kind of like the same way when you walk in certain places and you dress a certain way, they're gonna treat you accordingly.
Bars.
So, yeah, man. And I remember one day walked into Walmart looking for video games. Of course, I was dressed how, just down or whatever, hoodie and everything like that. And it was just, you know, oh, well, what you need? Oh, I want to get that game right here. Okay, open up, get it. Walk with you up to the front. They ain't giving you nothing. Same Walmart. Walked in, suited and booted. Everybody's just watching. Hey, sir, how can I help you? Oh, I want to get this game. Oh, let me get that for you. Open it up. Get whatever you need. Just comes to the register. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked and was like, this dude is about business. He ain't about that foolery. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this. I could have walked out with everything if I felt like it. But I'm going to
Yep,
go ahead and unlock this. You pick what you want, come up to the register.
yep.
Same thing with credit. The same thing.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Man, now thinking about that, that's actually a good episode for the future.
Yeah.
Because
Your appearance.
exactly.
That
And I'm
matters.
brainstorming that right now, man. But yeah, we'll stay on task
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right here. So moving on, I'm going to discuss as of 2022 by generation, credit scores by generation. Generation Z, which is 18 to 25, an average of 679. 26 to 41, the millennials, is 687. Our generation, X, 42 to 57, is a 706.
Mm.
The boomers, 742, and the silent generation, which is age 77 and up, 760. So I'm sure that stuff is attributed to, of course, they've, been living longer. They've had the credit history and all that kind of stuff. A lot of those people own properties and whatnot. So their credit is going to be good. Of course, Generation Z, these kids, most of them, they don't care anyway. They just, in that whole YOLO life, and I'm going to get whatever, and I'm going to pay back whenever. And it's the same thing, with these millennials. Now, Gen X, we've gotten better because I remember when it was like that in our generation too. Fortunately, like I said, for me, I've only had, I'll say this, one instance in which I've had a creditor seek me out. And it was when I had a phone card. My fiance at the time, I was trying to, call back home, and of course, this is back in the '90s, when you had to basically wait until like nights and weekends to.
Call me back 1 minute for free.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a phone card that I would use, and I pretty much didn't pay the bill on the card. So next thing I know, I'm getting a letter sent to my command, and they told me that I had this bill that I needed to pay. So I went and I did a payment plan. And what I had to do was, not only did I have to call the creditors and make arrangements for this bill, I forgot how much it was, but I also had to let my command know every time I made a payment. Yeah. So one thing about the military, they're going to hold you accountable to your stuff. And it was kind of embarrassing. But again, I really had no clue about how that thing worked at the time. So it was one of those lessons that I took, and then I learned, like, hey man, you got to pay these people back. That wasn't free. So
Definitely not free.
yeah, and that's my story. And then, speaking of, imagine getting out of the military, about to get out of the military rather, and I'm going to try to buy a car. But I can't get the car because my credit score was impacted. Apparently, I had something in collections. It was a computer and it was some furniture. Now, I'm overseas, so I'm like, how did this stuff come up? It just so happened when I pulled my credit report, and this is something I'm going to get into later. So this is a foreshadowing type deal. Pulled my credit report and found that there was an address that did not belong to me. So I had to research this address, and oddly enough, it was the address of an ex-girlfriend of mine. And I had to think about it because my mail used to come to Grandma Mary's house.
Mm.
And apparently she must have gotten a hold of my information from there. And man, when I tell you when I found out what happened, I found out later that it was her that did it because I got confirmation because the girl was bragging to another girl that I was talking to that that she had done it. So fortunately for me, I could have pressed charges against her, but it would have taken too long. But since I was still in the Navy and about to get out, um, the Navy lawyer took care of it because I would have had to spend, thousands of dollars just to get that stuff taken care of in legalities and whatnot. But they got in touch with the creditors, gave them proof that I was overseas the whole time and I couldn't have made the purchase and whatnot. And it got wiped off my report. So everything went back to normal. I confronted the girl later on after I got out of the military. And of course, she denied everything. But, it was what it was. So to you, and you know who you are, if you're listening, you got lucky. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Wow. Well, I had one to where I guess a check of mine, the checkbook came up missing.
Mm.
It's been a while ago, but there were charges, of course, that wasn't mine. And this is when everybody was doing the check fraud thing. And I mean, somebody had went to Target and all kind of stuff, you know, with my information, which is why I ended up putting a block on a lot of things, because it's like these are not my charges. But if I wasn't, and I found that out because at that time I was trying to go for something, can't remember what it was, but there was a bunch of checks that had bounced that was in my name, and after research, I too know when I lived on Kenwood, I know where this happened. I know who did it, because the handwriting is one of them handwritings I've been seeing since I was in high school. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm thinking I know where this came from, but I did press charges. I sure did. I went to the Babylons and told them everything because I couldn't get it cleared unless I filed a police report, and I had to do that. Well, who do you think did it? XYZ did it. I know that for a fact because it was just one of those things like I've seen this before. I know this handwriting. So that person didn't get lucky. I didn't give a hell. Like I'm gonna make you suffer. It is what it is. Because that's just like you taking people's information and using it. That man, come on, that's not right. So you're ruining other people's credit. Same thing with putting, things in your kid's name.
Up. See, I was thinking about that. Yep, bring it up. Bring it up.
Putting things in your kid's name will mess up. It just will mess up their life.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's like, okay, well, you have this unpaid light bill. I was a year old. I ain't paying no bill.
Right.
But I'm not saying, other races don't do it. I'm talking black folk.
Right.
Stop.
Because it has been done.
Yeah.
Many times. Fortunately, it never happened to us, because our mother had integrity.
Yeah.
However, there were others that did it. So we'll just leave it at that. Boy, I'm telling you. I mean, the stuff.
Yeah.
These stuff.
Boy.
Oh
man.
So
yes, that rabbit hole goes deep.
Yeah, that it does.
Yeah.
So speaking of those things that negatively affect your credit, obviously not paying bills. You're opening too many accounts in a short amount of time. Realize that every time that you are asking for credit, these companies will pull your credit and you will be docked a certain amount of points every single time.
Yep.
Now, anything over 3 is considered critical. So that automatically puts you in the danger zone. Anything over 3
I think
within
that's
a year's time,
what they call a hard. Is it a hard
a
pull?
hard pull.
Hard
Yes.
pull. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the hard pulls. Now, the soft pulls, that's when you pull your own stuff or it's a pre-approval type deal on some things, then I mean, that's fine. Because some companies, they'll pull your credit report and then they'll send you a letter saying you're pre-approved for such and such. Those are the
Yeah.
soft pulls. Yeah, the hard pulls are when you're going to ask for a credit card, you're applying for a credit card or a mortgage or a car or something like that. Those have an effect on your credit. And like I said, you will be deducted some credit points
Yeah.
for that. Your score will decrease in amount. Not utilizing your credit, which is crazy because you get penalized for using too much credit. You get penalized for using no credit.
Losing no credit. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It is crazy.
And it is, but in the same turn, there's too much information out there for us not to know.
Right.
So I didn't know good credit habit was using 10% of what your I believe what your total is.
Right.
So if you got like a $10,000 limit, what's 10% of that?
Right.
I wouldn't even go 10%. I use about 5.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they'd be like, oh, you have excellent credit, because you're only using this amount. But
Right.
some people, they get in trouble because it's just like, hey, I'm going to go max this out, then I pay it back. And 10 years later, you're still trying to pay that back.
Exactly. Yep. Because you done piled up the interest.
Yeah.
And probably paying a bare minimum on stuff. And that's how they get you.
Yep.
And speaking of, you're saying the 10%, but you shouldn't go over 30% of credit utilization on your accounts. That's going to have a negative impact on your credit. Not having a good mix of accounts. So you should have a good percentage of your revolving credit and your installment credit that goes into it. Also, like I said before, if you're opening those accounts in a short period of time, if you have accounts that haven't been open long, because what they do is they will take the average of your oldest credit account and your newest account, and that will go into your score. Now, having said all that, of course, with the negative, then you've got the positives and ways to boost your credit score. Pay on time. And not just pay on time, I'd be paying before time and I would be paying more than the minimum. Okay, that will help you avoid paying more in your interest fees. Okay.
Apple Card is good with that one.
Yes. Yes. It is for those purchases. They're not going to charge you the interest. They just want to see that you make those payments.
Yep.
So that's good. And speaking of Apple, not trying to endorse them, not because we have stock in Apple.
Yep.
But the Apple Card is good. If you have an iPhone, it's a really good look for you.
Yes.
So how you use the Apple Card, of course, you can use it to make, purchases, your gas, groceries, whatever the case may be. But they assign percentage points. So you will get a percentage of whatever you spend back. And it'll either go into an Apple account, or if you have a savings account created by Goldman Sachs, if you have a savings account, and of course the card is through Goldman Sachs as well. But if you have a savings account, that money that you get back will be deposited into your savings account. I mean, so depending on what you buy, it's 1 to 3% on things normally, but you can also have things that give you 6% back, like Nike, like Ace Hardware, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They got specific places on where you can spend and you can get up to 6% back. So
and it adds up.
Yes,
it adds up quick.
It does.
That's
quickly.
actually my primary card with gas and food or whatever.
Yeah,
I use that. Just get that cash back.
Yep, I use my Apple Card for everything. So also with the savings account, it's like 4.5%.
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So like every quarter you'll get, no, not every quarter.
Every month.
Every month.
That's every month.
You'll get the dividends, and they will. It's very good.
Yeah.
It is very good depending on how much you use that card. So if you have an iPhone, like I said, I highly recommend that you get this card. And one of the best things about the card is that your number is not on the card. The card is titanium. It only has your name on it with the Apple logo, and your number is on your phone.
Yep.
And you can also change the number if you need to. So it's very secure. As long as you've got security on your phone, you're good to go.
Yes.
So right. We would highly recommend the Apple Card. And then every so often, they will check your credit. It's a soft pull, and you wouldn't even know it, but they will give you a notice saying, hey, based on, your usage, based on your credit, you got a higher limit. Right off top, my first crack at applying for the card, they gave me $10,000 off top.
Whoa.
So yeah, and after a few months, next thing I know, they raised it to 13,000. So it's really good to have. Very useful. So
that's definitely a show enough.
Yeah. So we're not paid to endorse this thing, but it's just something that we use and we highly recommend it.
Definitely.
So like I said, as far as boosting the credit score, of course, like as a pay on time, keep your cards current to prevent them from closing. You could take a card that you haven't used in a while, go buy, a pack of bubble gum or something, get some gas with it, pay it off real quick, so you can have, have an entry in there to keep the card current. And then keep your credit utilization low. Like I said before, under 30% is ideal. So you want to make sure that you do that. You also want to make sure that you check your credit score, pull your credit report regularly, so that you're on the up and up. Make sure that there are no strays on your report. Any addresses that you had not lived, any accounts that you did not open, you make sure that you check your credit report so you can challenge these things.
Yeah.
There's really no excuse for not checking. Freecreditreport.com will give you your report. Credit Karma will give you your report. Just about any credit card that you have, you should have access to your credit score. So there's no excuse. You can check at any time to see what you got going on. You do that, and you'll be able to, purchase things based on what you can afford, based on your score, and you'll have roughly an idea of, how much interest you'll probably pay for whatever it is
Very
that you're trying to get. So that's pretty much it right there, man. If you have a good credit score, you have a good name, and you have access to just about anything that you want. Just make sure that you keep your credit current. Keep those accounts open. Make sure you pay them people on time,
Yep.
because when they want that money, they're going to do it by any means necessary,
That's right.
including garnishing your wages if they get to that point. So there's that.
Fortunately, I ain't been there, and
Yeah.
I don't want to get there
Yeah.
because I know they take one of mine, they taking it all.
Yeah.
So, but,
Yeah.
oh, he got how much in there? Whoop.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. And if you have some situation where you cannot pay the full amount or whatever, call those people up like an adult and negotiate terms of repayment.
Yep, definitely.
That says a lot about you in terms of integrity. That says a lot about you in terms of honesty, and if you cannot afford it, like we said, do not ask. Don't even try to buy if you know you don't have the means to do so. That's just the adult thing to do.
Very
You know?
true.
And
Especially like some of them will ask, they want to know how much you make. And they
right,
will verify,
right,
you know. they will verify. How I know? Because they want oh, hey, yeah, of course you can have what you want.
yeah, yeah. And a warning, I will put that out there to the young folks. Just because you are offered a credit card does not mean that you should take it. Okay. Now, we have gotten our children set up to the point to where we're going to discuss not only money matters with them, but we're also discussing credit matters too.
Yep.
So when they finally step out into society, they will know, okay, this is what I have. I'm going to budget this. And on top of that, this is what I have in credit. I only have so much that I can spend. And I know that I can't go over this amount, because if so, then I might not have money for something else.
I can recall like well after we had moved and I was in high school, and I know mom used to say that make sure you keep your credit good. Make sure you keep your credit good. So
Mm,
especially now, I'm like, now I know what was going on, why
yeah.
she kept saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what is credit? You know what I'm talking about? I thought, yeah, the credit card, oh, it's party time, free money. That's what I thought. 'Cause I think I got my first credit card at 21.
Mm,
It was Capital One, and they only gave me $230 limit.
mm.
Gone like that was hard to pay back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was because I wasn't educated with it. You know what I mean? And then I wasn't making money like that. I was at Burger King and
Yeah.
UPS. The majority of my money went to rent and trying to survive. You
Hmm.
know, learning experience back then.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, years later, here come Capital One again. And now I know how to deal with it. I know how to manage it and do all that good old stuff.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, credit matters, because credit matters.
Yes, it does. So if you don't have it, get Credit Karma,
Yeah.
get Experian,
Yep.
the boost.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
Look at your credit. Start knocking some stuff off. You know what I mean? Because you'll thank us later. Guaranteed you will.
Oh, yeah. And with that, folks, I think we're done. Episode 16 is in the books.
Pow.
Thank you so much for rocking with us these past episodes, and don't know, when the next one is going to be, but same thing, man. Life is lifing, but we will be back at some point to give you it, raw and uncut, how IS is.
That's right.
As far as contacts, you can get with me. I am at Dre All Day Mervin on Facebook. I am at Dre_all_day 24 on Instagram. And you can hit up Rashad at
Rashad the Toy Collector, Instagram, Rashad the Toy Collector, YouTube, Emoji Mervin, Instagram, Emoji Mervin, YouTube. That's where I am.
And y'all know what's up. And you can also hit us up collectively at the Mervin Brothers on
Mervin
IG,
Brothers.
Especially on YouTube, where you're going to get this show. And you can get us at all of your podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, whatever. We're there.
Yep.
Once again, I'm Dre. That's Rashad. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next time on See
What happened was.
Y'all be good.
All right, yo.
Good night, Ralph.
Good night, Penguin.